Talk with Dr. Eve. How are you all out there this morning? Welcome, good stewards. How are you? I'm Dr. Eve for all of you who don't know. And on my channel, we talk about all things well being and building a strong home economy from the soil up as we live well, right? Um, you all know that I have been challenged this week, or for the last couple of weeks. I have been really challenged and with the death of my brother, and I'm working through it. I'm working through it. All things are well. One of the things that I was just talking to my daughter, and one of the things that my brother message that my brother left me was go. He said, "Go, tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is Lord." Hey, Athar, where have you been? Like, really, where have you been? I've missed you. So, Athar, I've really been going through. My brother passed away on Monday, and all is well, though. All is well. He was a very sick man, and but he loved the Lord. And even in his sickness, he was, I tell you, he was an amazing human. There in the end, he gave me some clear directions, and he said, "Sis, go. Tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is Lord." And it was so affirming for me because of who I am. And it gave me a new spark to not be afraid of their eyes, to not be afraid of persecution, just to not be afraid, because we know that I have been getting a little weary on this journey, a little weary on the journey, because trying to, share with people about the good, the goodness of Jesus Christ. It's been hard doing that because it feels like you're speaking to everything's falling on like deaf ears. People don't want to hear about God. They don't want to. They don't want to believe. They want to believe that God is the universe when He was the creator of the universe. He was the creator of all things. When I sit here in this amazing garden that He's allowed me to build, and I can see Him all around me through the birds that are chirping and the insects that are, doing whatever they do, and the food that's growing out of the ground, like He is the creator of all those things, right? And so it's reassuring, like it's affirming to know that you know you are on an assignment, and no matter what it feels like, He tells us to not be weary in well doing, to not be weary in well doing. And my brother, who is going on, whose body is no longer racked with pain, um, I am purposed as an educator, as a health and human service educator, as a resource to make sure I share with people what it looks like to live well. What does it look like to live well? I lost my father to this. I lost my mama to this. I lost my brother to this. Who else? Like, I don't want to lose another person to something that's preventable. Do you know what I'm saying? Not diabetes when you can eat right. Honestly, we need to start eating less, because the things that are happening in this world, if we don't condition our bodies to be able to survive off of um, what God's true intention, off the every seed bearing thing that He gave us to eat, if we do not begin to condition our bodies to do that, we will perish. I'm going to say not we. I'm not perishing because I don't know better. I'm not perishing because I won't do better. I'm not perishing for those reasons. I am going to show the world. I'm going to show my friends. I'm going to show my families. I'm going to open up my garden. We're going to plant seeds. We're going to learn how to live well. We're going to understand our bodies. We're going to know what it means physically, mentally, spiritually, financially, and socially how to live well. How to live well. What does that look like for you? You know, there's so much going on in the world. And believe it or not, they really want you to be so bombarded with the corruption of this world that you can't think straight. You can't eat straight. You can't see straight, feel straight, nothing straight. They want you to be so bombarded. So, what does living well look like in the middle of chaos? What does it look like? What does living well, healthy, what does it look like in the middle of chaos all around us? It looks like learning how to mind your business. To me, because people are looking, trying to pull you into things. They want to know your opinion about this, your opinion about that, your opinion about the other. I don't have an opinion. What does God's word say about it? Because that's the only thing that's keeping me right now. It's the only thing that's keeping me right now. I can always go and reference my Father's word. I can always go reference the instructions when I get bombarded by the world, because he said, "Be ye in the world and not of it." So I'm in it, but I can't be of it, because to be of it is to rely on it for the answers, and we can't rely on the world for the answers. I think that's so important. I'm sitting here today in the middle of the garden. I was grieving hard the other day, and I took my grief and I made a whole sun deck out here with some nails and a hammer and some lumber. So I'm sitting in the middle of the garden right now, and I absolutely love it, with a cup of coffee. I have my work, and my job is to help people find, to help people live well, to help them live well, to help them triumph over every bad thing, everything that's so easily besetting them, to live a life of peace, joy, happiness, and fulfillment. And what does that look like for us? For some of us, that's real simple. It's real for some of us. It's really, really simple living. What would you do for that kind of peace? It's been a year now since I returned from Ghana. My life was forever changed having gone to Ghana, having learned about the history of Ghana, the history of the indigenous slavery in Ghana, having learned the um, parallel to the Bible, having learned about my people, having learned about all the things that I knew and read, and was able to make a divine connection on purpose to understand what I needed to do next. What's next for me is so critical. What is next for me, right? What, how does this connect with my assignment that's been given to me by God, which is to go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. That's the message that my brother left with me. My brother left that with me in text. He left me so many beautiful text messages, and I kept all of them. I kept all of them as a reminder of the joy I felt just receiving his messages, knowing that he was saved, knowing that he loved the Lord. We could pray together. We could talk about our children together, and we could say what's next, or I could put him on a sign. I said, "Bro, I need you. Bro, I need you. I need a prayer partner." He would call me. I need to pray. You know, it's good to have somebody in your corner like that when all of the rest of the world is going haywire. They think that somehow, like, I grew up being an advocate. I grew up, being a connector. I grew up being a community engager. I grew up solving problems. I grew up creating possibilities, right? I grew up doing all of those things. And I'm incredibly grateful to be at a place in my life where I can sit here and look at these clouds, the beauty of the sky. I can teach real life skills, real life skills. I got some watermelons growing over here, y'all. They so big. I got watermelons growing. Listen, I told my tomatoes, I had a long conversation with my tomatoes the other day, and I said, listen, y'all have not paid no kind of rent over here, and y'all about to be evicted. Because I do talk to my plants, because I don't have like people around me all day long, so I really do live in the garden. This is what I do. This is my work to combat food insecurity in my community by teaching people how to take a seed and to grow from a seed. That's my that's my assignment in the earth right now, is to teach about these things. What's next for us? How to take grow one thing at a time if that's all you have. How to grow from a pot, grow from a plot, grow from a patio, grow from wherever, grow on a budget, whatever. But the goal is food security. The goal is food security. And so, because that is the assignment, I get to live in a life of wellness. God gifted me this assignment in this season of growth. I'm 62 years old, so it's a beautiful assignment of love that He has given to me. Knowing that I would push the button and tell the people about Him in the process, that He would deal with me and my heart in the garden as well, because I still need a work, right? We are all a work in progress. We're all a work in progress. And what does that look like for you? So I told you the other day I built this patio. So this weekend, y'all, we're coming up on a weekend. It is my mother's birthday. My mother is no longer with us. And I don't know what that's going to look like for me this weekend. I do miss my mother. I miss her so much. And when I sit here, I think about her because my mother loved to garden as well, and not having her around. This is also a part of just being, in the things that she used to love to do as well. My mama taught me so many things about growing my own economy. She taught me how to sew. She taught me how to cook. She taught me how to crochet. She gifted talents, like doing things with your hand, how to find peace, you know, um, growing food. We did that together, we did that together. And she would be so godly proud of me right now, watching me grow these strawberries and these watermelons and figs and a whole banana tree over there, y'all. A whole banana tree, citrus, lemons, limes, beans, everything. And anything look, I'm willing to try. I'm willing to try, and I'm willing to show others how. I've got green beans growing right now, my own medicine. I grow all of my own herbs. It's beautiful. It's beautiful here. And I want that for you. I want you to begin to think about, to stop bombarding yourself with what's going on in the world. Now, you might say, well, that might be easy for you to do because You have a home, you have shelter, you have food, you have energy, you have um, water, right? You might be saying those things, but life has always lifed for me. At 62, if you live long enough, you'll live through, you will live through and triumph over those things. But there is an important source at the foundation of everything that I have conquered because God told me that I was more than a conqueror. And if you would yield yourself to Him, a lot of times God is working through your trial, and all we see is the trial. We can't see past, we can't see what we were supposed to learn from the trial. And I used to always ask God, well, what am I supposed to learn from this? And the very things that He would have me working on would be the things that I was going through. He would be using my skills and talents to solve problems that I was going through, but not for me, but for the community. Because my assignment was community. It was community. And so he would use every problem that I faced as a human. He would use my problem to, however I got through it with him, was how he wanted me to design a program for others to get through it. If it makes sense, it makes sense. It makes perfect sense that God would want you to use how you got over it to teach others. Because he said in his word that we overcome by the testimonies of each other. That's not verbatim, the word verbatim, but I have a hard time remembering. That's why I'm always referring to the Bible because I don't want to add to, but just know that he said that we overcome by the testimonies of each other. That he wants us to be going and telling our story. He wants you. He wants you to go tell it on the mountain how Jesus Christ is Lord and how he saved you. Do you know that if we all would take to this here internet and open our cameras and just be authentically real and tell the truth about how God did it, how we can touch one life. My assignment in the earth is God give me one person that day, touch one life and touch millions. Because I don't know who's going to be the influencer. I'm just the person he called to, he knew wouldn't mind pushing the button, who wouldn't mind talking to people. You know, I love getting out here and sharing a good story and authentic truth. I love doing that. He knew that though. He knew that. Take a breath. Just take a breath. I'm telling you. I'm doing. Oh, hey, Andrea. Listen, you're gonna have to catch this live, cause it's for you, Andrea, too. It's for anybody who's trying to figure out what's next. It's for anyone who's trying to figure out what's next. Hey, Joe. Hey, my beautiful Andrea. I am Andrea. I am living well. I'm living well. That's my response, cause that's what we do here. Live well. You from Uganda, and I am from the U.S. Living well in my little court retreat, my little mini retreat. My brother passed away on Monday, so I'm fighting grief, but I'm living well. I'm fighting against grief, but I'm living well. And part of my grief process is just being here, and sharing my story with others, sharing what's going on in my life with others, being authentic. People want to see. how other people make it over. And I don't think enough of us, share that. Share the how did I make it over that. Um, when my brother left me a message, we would call, like I said, I've been telling everybody earlier, my brother would always leave me these text messages when he couldn't reach me. And this one text message he left me, I shared earlier, it was so affirming. And it said, go, tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is Lord. It was almost like God was using him. God was using him. And I would always tell him that. I said, bruh, do you know how many people need you? Do you know how many people need to know how you conquering being an amputee? You don't have to go and tell them your entire life story. Eventually you can write a book about that. But do you know how many people are struggling with diabetes and being an amputee and need to see how God is bringing you through? And it was like after my brother had his surgery he had his knee from the knee down removed. After he had that surgery, it was almost like God had him on a fast track to speak to every male in our family about God. Because I guess God knew. God knows, ain't no doubt. God knows the hour and the time that we will expire. He knows the hour and the time that we will expire. And my brother, that's what I have to hold on to, y'all. I have to hold on how I watch God use him as an amputee. He had diabetes, all the things that my family, my mama, my daddy, my family members, but it stops with me. I'm a curse breaker. I am a change maker. I am who God says I am. And I just wanted to come here today in the beauty of the garden and share my thoughts, how it's going. You can hear all the beautiful things around me. Just wanted to share how it was going, today. I don't know what it'll look like tomorrow, but today I find beauty in today. And here is why I tell y'all we only have today because we don't know the hour or the minute that our Father is going to come for us. And so, if I would leave one thing with you today as his daughter on an assignment, is repent like you did it. Repent like Daniel 9. He repented for the whole world. He prayed for the entire world and he included himself in it. That's how we have to approach our prayers, as if we did it, so that God can clean up our houses, so that he can clean up your families, so that he can clean you up. You know? Hi. We have to do it in that way, like Daniel 9. If you've never read Daniel 9, you should. You should read it because Daniel, wow. You know what? I noticed up there in that tree, there is a big old huge brown something up there in the tree, and it looks like something it almost looks like a tree house. but it looks like something that an animal created or a creature created. That's what I get to look at from this view, all the beautiful trees and the skylines. And I live in an urban city. For those of you who don't know, I'm not on a farm. I am classified a farm, but I don't live in a rural community. I live in an urban area. I just happen to live in an area that's really woody, right? Really woody and forestry, a lot of vegetation. Um, and I think that made growing an urban farm here so easy. But yeah, so that's how it's going today. My chickens are crying. My chickens are squawking for me. So I'm not gonna stay long. I appreciate you all for coming in and checking on me, and saying hi and liking and subscribing to, all things well here, living well. That's what God designed for us, and but we have to do that, y'all, with intention. We have to do it with intention because life will throw us curveballs. The world will throw all kinds of curveballs, all kinds of policies being created, all kinds of destruction is happening. He said, but destruction happens before revival. Destruction happens before revival. So what if all he wants is for us to turn away so the destruction can stop happening? What if that's all God wanted from us? What if we would turn away and seek him? What if all of us would just do that so that we could find peace in this corrupt world? All I have today is to stand on his promise. And they are yes and amen. This weekend, I'm going to spend time getting my beds ready for all my winter vegetables because we're going to have a cold streak. Fall is going to be setting in soon. I love that my tomatoes are coming in. I'm so excited, y'all, because I was about to pull every single one of them. I just want y'all to know. And lots of things are growing here. The figs are growing again. The blackberries look like they're coming for a second round. I think the blueberries will probably fall again. They are fall and spring. Peppers are doing what they do. The beans, collards, everything is just growing. The lime, citrus, everything's growing. I'm not bothering with it. And I got so many herbs, I can't even tell you. I'm blessed. I'm a blessed woman, and I just want to bless others. I have my own seeds, grow my own seeds, all the things, we have to. And the planes, the plane, boss, the plane. Anybody remember that from what was that? The Love Boat. Anybody remember the Love Boat? And the little guy and the captain. Whatever happened to them? I'm looking at these raspberries right now. They are growing beautifully. I have harvested my grapes. So today I'm actually going to take those grapes and put them in, make some jam out of them. I'm going to make some jam because they weren't large, but it was a lot of grapes. The grape Concord kind of grapes too. So I'm going to take those. I think I'm also going to pull my strawberries up and put them in hanging pots because I need to build out the area around my fire pit for the winter. So I think that's what I'm going to do today. Those are some of the things I want to do this weekend just to get on top of the garden for fall. I just do a little bit every day, and I have all these bags that need to be amended. So I'm going to work on those two, one bag at a time. I'm grateful to have things that I can do with my hands that keep my mind occupied as our family, prepares to lay my brother to rest. I'm probably going to come back later because I have a question about, I'm curious about that thing up there though. What in the world is that, y'all? And I'm going to go find out too in a minute. Cause it's like a tree house or something. Cause you gotta watch how people be, you gotta watch during this time hour, like, cause people could have stuff set up to see right in your house. You don't never know. Cause I live in a very secluded area, baby, and I know they be wondering what be happening over here in my garden, in my yard. You gotta be on high alert right now. I love that the bees are still here. You know, I love that for me. And y'all want to see my little deck? Y'all want to see my little deck I built? It's actually really, really beautiful, y'all. I have to get two more pieces of lumber though, because the panels need strength. They aren't strong enough. So I needed at least five for this 6 foot platform. I needed at least five. And the next one I build is going to be on 10 foot. I'm going to do a 10-foot panel. Do y'all know how much we can do, like we ourselves, to live well? Do you know that if we would just try, that you could force appreciate your land? You could force it to be what you want it to be, and you could make money off that little piece of land. At this at this age, my husband and I are really focusing on God, number one, the hummingbird. Y'all know what? I have got to get some hummingbird feeders over here because they love it over here. They just come to get the nectars out of the flowers because I have a lot of flowers. So I need to build them something with nectar in it so they can also not tear the flowers up. You understand? Between them, the butterflies, and the other beneficials that come through here, it's a beautiful place. Living well, y'all. That has to be the goal. Living well is the goal. Okay? So, for all of you out there who are weary, the Father says, do not be weary in your well doing. Do not be weary in well doing. So, every day, we only have today. Remember that. We only have today because tomorrow isn't guaranteed. So, live out your fullness and your full potential every day. So it's not delayed, that you're always moving towards the goal that God has for you. Listen to Him and not the world. The world, again, is extremely corrupt and it wants your mind. Remember that the enemy only has one goal: snipe you, to snipe you. That's it. I look at my little spider snipers. They set these traps and they get their victim every single time. There's so much we can learn from the garden by just paying attention. So much we can apply from the things around us if we would allow ourselves to sit long enough to hear from God. Whew, Father, cover my airspace. Make my home a no-fly zone. I don't care how you have to alter the maps, how you have to deal with the authority, the air authorities. Make my home a no-fly zone. Did you know you can ask God for those things? With all the things that are happening in the world. I'm wondering about something, y'all, and I have a question. I have this beautiful fountain. It's not a fountain. It's actually a maiden grass, and it gets really, really big. It's ornamental grass, and I'm wondering if I should put it in a really big pot so that it can grow and I can move it around in the garden. Maybe I should invest in something really big, or another thing I could do is just put it in the ground right here, as and let it just grow. I don't know. We're just trying to figure out. I don't want to block off all the sun from the areas where plants need to get sun, but it would be nice for them to um, have some shade because you know, I just create. I don't even know if tomorrow will be here tomorrow, but I'm going to do this one thing. I'm going to occupy until he comes. I'm just going to occupy until he comes. Occupy. That's what I think we should do. We should all be occupying until he comes. Live well and do not get weary in well doing. That's all I have for today. Remember, have the most, go and have the most beautiful day. And whatever you do, don't let anyone get in the way on your journey to becoming who God has called you to become. Do it now. Do it now. Do it right now. Peace. And until next time, bye for now.